Hello students, today in continuation of the introduction of system approach in civil engineering, we are going to study the linear programming. What is linear programming? Linear programming is optimization technique for optimizing linear objective and linear constraint. So we know that what is mean by linear? Linear is the function which will have a relation between like linearity x1 plus x2 plus x3. So this type of relation, if we have in a mathematical equation, we can't say that this is the linear relation, and in this we can apply linear programming. Optimization is to maximize or minimize in a given condition. So given condition, the objective is to be maximize or minimize, and optimization is the maximizing the cost or minimizing the cost. Objective function should be known in a linear programming problem. Before we have to optimize any problem, we should know the objective function. It may be profit, cost, production capacity, or any other measure of effectiveness. And for any objective function that has to be achieved, for that there should be constraint, maybe inequalities or inequalities type of constraints should be there. Then we can say that, or we can apply the techniques for an optimization. If we don't have a constraint for achieving any objective function, then there is no importance or no effective measure of the applying these techniques for an management. Linear programming can be applied in the different fields of work scheduling, production planning and process, capital budgeting, financial planning, blending, oil refinery management, farm planning, distribution network, and multi-period decision problems like inventory model, financial model, and work scheduling. So these are the different fields where the linear programming is applied, and for and the cost reduction can be achieved in these different fields. Linear programming is a special and versatile technique which can be applied to a variety of management problems, wise advertising, distribution, investment, production, refinery, operation, transportation analysis. The linear programming is useful not only for industry, business, but also non-profit sector like such as education, government, hospital, and libraries. The objective function and constraint can be expressed as linear function. This is the necessity for linear programming. The objective function and constraint should be capable of expressing in a linear relationship. The main important feature of linear programming model is the process of linearity in the problem. The use of linear programming model arises in wide variety of applications. Some of models may not be strictly linear, but can be made linear by applying appropriate mathematical transportation. So many times it happens that suppose many constraint may not be linear, but this can be converted into linear by applying appropriate mathematical transformation by considering the proper constraints or modifying the constraints. We can convert that into the linear relationships. Formulation of LPP. This is most important aspect in the linear programming problem, because in the system approach we we have some mathematical tools with our hand to make a decision, but formulation of LPP is depend upon the understanding objective function and constraints. So this should be very much clear in our mind whenever we are going to formulate a problem. Note that key to formulating LPP is practice. However, a useful hint is that common objective for linear programming are maximize profit and minimize cost. So most of the time this will be our objective, to maximize the profit and minimize the cost. So considering this, every time we can identify objective functions, and formulation of problem depends on two factors. First is objective function and second is constraint. So this should be identified in any of the problem. What is objective function? An objective function is the main aim of the model which is either to be minimized or maximized. What is constraint? Constraint is a set of constraints those which allow the unknown to take certain values but exclude others. In manufacturing problem, one cannot spend negative amount of time on activity. So constraint that is time. So constraint, in another word, constraint is then a limitation over the resource, over the money, over the time to achieve that objective function. Linear programming, just consider this example. An industry is manufacturing two types of products, P1 and P2. The profit per kg of two products are rupees 30 and rupees 40 respectively. These two products required processing in three types of machines. The following table shows the available machines, hours per day and time required on each machine to produce 1 kg of P1 and P2. Formulate the problem in the form of linear programming model. So this example we are going to study for how to get a formulation. So profit per kg is given for product P1 is rupees 30, for product P2 is rupees 40, and these all products are processed on machine 1, machine 2 and machine 3. Product 1 is processed on machine 1 for 3 hours. Product 2 is processed on machine 1 for 2 minutes. Product 1 is processed on machine 2 for 3 minutes. Product 2 is processed on machine 2 is for 5 minutes. And product 1 is processed on machine 3 for 5 minutes. And product 2 is machined on machine 3 is 6 minutes. And total available time for machine 1 is 600 minutes, machine 2 is 800 minutes and machine 3 is 1100 minutes in a day. What will be the formulation? Introduce the decision variable as follows. Let x1 be the amount of p1 and x2 be the amount of p2. Now objective function is to maximize the profit, z max. The objective function is denoted by z max is equal to 30x1 plus 40x2. Constraint will be expressed according to the time of process and machines. Machine 1 3x1 plus 2x2 less than equal to 600. For machine 2 3x1 plus 5x2 less than equal to 800. For machine 3 it is 5x1 plus 6x2 less than or equal to 1100. In addition to above, x1 and x2 should be greater than equal to 0. So this is the formulation of linear programming problem. And one more example we are going to study how to get a formulation. Company owners two flour mill A and B which have a different production capacities for high, medium and low quality flour mills. The company has entered a contract to supply flour to firm every month with at least 8, 12 and 24 quintal of high, medium and low quality respectively. It costs the company rupees 2000 and rupees 1500 per day to run mill A and B respectively. On a day, mill A produce 6, 2 and 4 quintals of high, medium and low quality flours. Mill B produce 2, 4 and 12 quintals of high, medium and low quality flours. How many days per month should each mill to be operating in order to meet the contract order most economically? So this is the problem where company has two flour mills A and B and the company get an order for supply of 8, 12 and 24 quintal of quantities for this. So considering the profit and each machine product capacity, we can formulate the problem. Let us define x1 and x2 are the mills A and B. Here is the objective is to minimize the cost of the machine runs to satisfy the contract order. The linear programming model problem is given by minimize z is equal to 2000 x1 plus 1500 x2. Subject to constraint. First is 6x1 plus 2x2 greater than equal to 8, high floor meals. Second constraint will be 2x1 plus 4x2 greater than equal to 12, medium floor meals. Then next is 4x1 plus 12x2 greater than equal to 24, low floor meals, and x1 comma x2 is greater than equal to 0. So in this way formulation can be done, and then by suitable mathematical tool we can find out the x1 and x2 values. So aim of formulating get an optimal solution. Linear programming problems with two variable present in simple case for which solution can be obtained by using graphical method, and it can be easily solved by using graphical or geometric method. Select x1 and x2 on x and y axis. Plot each constraint on both axes considering each variable 0. Find the feasible region, mark all the common points on a graph, and put these values in function to get a value of function. So this is the one of the method to solve linear programming problem by using graphical method, but we'll see one more example later on. Next part of the system approach is non-linear programming. It will have the two types of problem, constraint optimization and unconstrained optimization. So constraint optimizations are the techniques Lagrangian multiplier technique, Tucker conditions, penalty functions. Unconstrained optimization has two varieties of problem, one-dimensional and multivariable problem. In one-dimensional, we can use dichotomous search technique, Fibonacci method, golden section method. In multivariable, steepest gradient method and Newton method will be there for analyzing the problem. Next part of this is dynamic programming for sequencing and simulation. So when we have the multi-stage problems or multivariable problems, in that case we can use dynamic programming to optimize the model. Second is sequencing and simulations. When we have the service counters and queuing system need to be defined clearly so that we can have the effective management of service counters. You may have observed that in a railway station every time all ticket counters are not opened. So these are opened according to the train which are coming and the scheduled. Before that 30 hours all counters may be open. So this is because at that time there should not be rush. So everyone should get a ticket. So according to that they will give effectively manage the all service counters. So there will be minimum waiting time for people also, minimum ideal time for server also, whoever is going to give the tickets. In nonlinear programming, function may have more than one maxima or minima values. So one more than this. So more than maxima, 1, 2, 3. So these are all maximum values. Minima values which lies at bottom. When these functions are plotted, it will have more than one peak and one valley. Each of these local maxima or local minima, each of these values are local maxima or local minima. Among these all, whichever is the highest value is global maxima, and whichever is the lowest value, that is global minima. Here it will be global maxima, this will be global minima. So among these, whenever we plot any function value, it may have a certain peaks and valleys. So among these, whichever is the highest peak is our maximum, and whichever is the minimum is our lowest value. The global maxima is a function, a value which is higher than all values of the function. Global minima is a function value which is the lowest than the all values of the function. Convex function. A function which when plotted result in a curving upward or not curving at all is called a convex function. So this is our convex function. A real function A real valued function f defined as an interval or any convex subset C of some vector space is called convex. How to test this whether a function is convex or convex? If a function is a convex, if it is slope is non-decreasing, that is dabba square f upon dabba x or greater than equal to 0, then function is convex, and it is strictly convex if its slope is continuously increasing or dabba square f upon dabba x square is greater than 0 throughout the function. Then convex function, when function is plotted, its curve resulting to downward. Real value of function f defined as an interval or any concave subset C of some vector space is called convex. When differentiation of function twice with respect to x square, if it is less than or equal to 0, then function is said to be concave function. If dabba square f upon dabba x square is greater than equal to 0, the function is strictly convex function. If dabba square f upon dabba x square is less than equal to 0, its structural function is concave function. And if dabba square f upon dabba x square is equal to 0, neither function is convex or not convex. Check whether the following functions are convex or concave. If we have first example, f of x is equal to 10 minus x square, dabba f upon dabba x is equal to 0 minus 2x, dabba square upon dabba x square is minus 2. So as this value is less than 0, our function will be concave function. Similarly, multivariable problem, if we have variables like x1 and x2, then we can check that convex or concave of the function dabba square of x upon dabba x1 square, dabba square f upon dabba x2 square minus dabba square of x1 dabba x2 square. If the value for this is greater than equal to 0, convex. If it is greater than 0, strictly convex, less than or equal to 0, concave, and if it is less, there is concave. Similarly, for dabba square f upon x1 square, for dabba square f upon x2 square, we can check whether it is concave or convex functions. To determine the convexity or concavity of the function of multivariable problem, eigenvalues of the Hessian matrix are examined and the following rules are applied. If all eigenvalues of Hessian matrix are positive, then function is strictly convex. If all eigenvalues of the Hessian matrix are negative, the function is strictly concave. And if some eigenvalues are positive and some eigenvalues are negative, if some are 0, the function is neither strictly concave or not strictly convex. And what is a Hessian matrix? It is denoted by H, and the Hessian matrix is dabba square f upon dabba x1 square, that is dabba square f upon dabba x1 dabba x2 square, then dabba square f upon dabba x1 dabba x2 dabba square f upon dabba x2 square. So this is the Hessian matrix, and if the eigenvalues of this Hessian matrix, if it is greater than 1, if it is positive or if it is negative, depending on that the function convex or concavity can be checked, and this can be applied for multivariable problem like x1, x2, x3, or the variables like x, y and z are there. Then we can apply this methodology of Hessian matrix to check the concave and convexity of the function. Thank you.